Well, from a fan's perspective, this Chicago Bears offseason has been an up and down roller coaster to say the least. From all the rumors and trade talks surrounding quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and even Carson Wentz, and possibly Matthew Stafford as well, from the signing of Andy Dalton in free agency, from the release of Kyle Fuller, the franchise tagging of Allen Robinson, and also the move up in the draft to select Justin Fields number 11th overall. And one thing that the Bears failed to do this offseason is extend Allen Robinson. And that's where I think the Chicago Bears dropped the ball and made an absolute mistake. But before I get into my reasons why, make sure you guys leave this video a like. That helps this channel to grow and beat the YouTube algorithm. And if you are a first-time viewer, clicking that subscribe button and notification bell also helps the channel out a lot. But let's get into this Allen Robinson saga. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and feet. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
The Bears signed Allen Robinson in the 2018 offseason to a 3-year, $42 million deal, even after coming off a torn ACL in Week 1 in 2017. Allen Robinson has proved since that 2018 season to be one of the elite receivers that we have in the NFL. He has been negotiating a longer-term deal with the Bears since the offseason of 2020. Even in the early goings of the 2020 regular season, Allen Robinson really started to voice his frustration with the Bears organization over not getting a long-term deal done. Even at one point removing the Bears from all of his social media and him voicing his frustration publicly of not getting a long-term deal done. Allen Robinson, over the course of the last 3 years, especially the last 2 years of his Bears career, has done nothing but prove himself to be one of the more elite wide receivers that we have in the NFL today. And in my opinion, I think he's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the NFL, which is why I think the Bears really dropped the ball and not getting a long-term deal done this offseason by the July 15th deadline. And I think it could really be costly for the Bears moving forward into the 2022 offseason. He struggled mightily his first year with the Bears with injuries and still coming back off of that torn ACL that he suffered in 2017, amassing 55 catches for 754 yards and 4 TDs. In 2019, seeing him have his second career 1,000-yard season with 98 catches, 1,147 yards, and 7 touchdowns. 2020 was his best season to date, amassing over 100 catches with 102 catches, 1,250 yards, and 6 TDs. In both 2019 and 2020, Allen Robinson was snubbed from the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. Allen Robinson has been putting up these numbers over his Bears career with not so great quarterback play. When you talk about Mitchell Trubisky, when you talk about Chase Daniel and the time that he had to step in for Mitchell Trubisky, and you also talk about Nick Foles, who really had some struggles in 2020. Despite the bad quarterback play and the inconsistent quarterback play, he's been putting up elite wide receiver type numbers. Even with that bad quarterback play, even with teams knowing he is the focal point of that offense, even with not having a consistent number 2 wide receiver, if you're talking about Anthony Miller, who's had some up and down play, if you're talking about Darnell Mooney, even though he had a really solid rookie season, he wasn't up to that level of most number 2 wide receivers at that point of his career. And Allen Robinson was still able to put up these type of numbers on a roster with not so great quarterback play. That to me explains why he is one of the more elite receivers. And I just do not believe he really gets the credit that he deserves for being so productive with not so great quarterback play over the last couple of years of his Bears career. And I really feel the Bears dropped the ball and not getting a long-term deal done because, number one, he has another productive 2021 season. That means his market value is only going to increase. The wide receiver market has been increasing, especially with the larger TV deals that's coming up, especially with more money that's being generated by the NFL. That's only going to have the market value for all positions go up, and not securing a long-term deal now before all of that kicks in is really going to bite the Bears, especially in the salary cap. You're going to have to pay Allen Robinson more money as the wide receiver numbers go up and contracts are getting done, especially when you have a guy like Davante Adams that's going to be a free agent in 2022 along with Allen Robinson. That's only going to mean that Allen Robinson's numbers as far as his money is only going to go up, especially if he stays on that level and produces like he always has been in the 2021 NFL season. The Bears, albeit they don't have the greatest of salary cap space right now, but I think they really shouldn't have got a deal done, especially when you're paying Allen Robinson franchise tag money. I don't think they should have let him play on that 1 year franchise tag. I know the franchise tag is something that teams use for negotiations, but I really feel they should have gotten that long-term deal done. That security of him being your number one wide receiver for the next few years to come. Now it's going to be more of a lame duck season because let's just say if the Bears necessarily, Andy Dalton struggles and Justin Fields comes in and he doesn't necessarily have the greatest of years, Allen Robinson is probably going to get more frustrated because he's not playing with that elite quarterback. So I think you take the chance and the Bears drop the ball. The Bears should have taken that chance and given Allen Robinson that contract extension that he rightfully deserves and that he's earned with his play over the last 3 seasons as a Chicago Bear. And you also have to think about it like this. Allen Robinson is probably one of the best receivers that the Bears have ever had. And we're talking about a franchise that has been in existence for 102 years since the league started in 1920. And Allen Robinson is probably the best player that you've had at the wide receiver position. Maybe outside of Brandon Marshall, Allen Robinson has been that guy for this Bears franchise over the course of his Bears career. And the Bears should have signed him to a long-term deal, have that security for years going forward, keep that productivity in your lineup in a secure spot. But now he's on a 1-year franchise deal, and the power is in Allen Robinson's hands. If things don't go right in 2020, he's still going to be a productive wide receiver. He's going to probably want out. The Bears are probably going to try to franchise tag him a 2nd year, but it's not going to work because his frustration level is going to be, I think, way over a boiling point, and he's really going to hold out and want out of Chicago. And another reason why I think the Bears should have extended Allen Robinson is to have that security blanket type of wide receiver to pair with Justin Fields. Now, we all know Justin Fields is going to be the Bears' eventual future at the quarterback position. And what better weapon to have in an offense than Allen Robinson? His ability to get open in the short routes to be the security blanket for Justin Fields will be tremendous, as he's been a security blanket for guys like Chase Daniel, Mitchell Trubisky, and Nick Foles. And we all know Justin Fields has more talent than each of those 3 quarterbacks. So having a talented quarterback like Justin Fields to pair with a wide receiver like Allen Robinson is going to spell tremendous things for the Bears' future. And I think the long-term deal could have had that security blanket for Justin Fields locked up instead of having them on a 1-year deal, and we're not going to know what the future holds, especially if he has a productive 2021 NFL season, and especially if Davante Adams really does not get a deal done. The market is going to elevate. So to have that security weapon for Justin Fields will be tremendous for the Bears in years to come, instead of having the future up in the air and you're not going to know what's going to happen with Allen Robinson as a Bear going forward. So the Bears actually drop the ball in the negotiations and not getting a long-term deal done for Allen Robinson. And we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds for both the Bears and Allen Robinson. But that is all I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. Comment your thoughts down below. Do you really believe the Bears made a mistake by not re-signing Allen Robinson and extending him? Or do you think the Bears are playing this right? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you have gotten to this point in the video, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a video. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers and we are almost there. And I will appreciate you guys clicking that subscribe button to continue to help this channel to grow. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.